Papa H making another mid-card championship look important. You love to see it. We got the hype video package, we got two legit competitors, we got the introductions, and the championship was defended in the main event of SmackDown. Finally, mid-card championships in the WWE matter again. That was the absolute highlight of the show to me. And the match itself was an absolute banger.
Ooh, Papa H, stop spoiling us.
That's really what I want from the mid-card championships. Sure, the Universal Championship, WWE Championship, Undisputed Championship, Undeniable, whatever the case may be, situation is not that good. It sucks. We barely see Roman. But I do want to see the mid-card championships being defended almost weekly, while the main championships, the World Championships, are mostly defended at the pay-per-views. These are the workhorse titles. Make them feel like it. This show made the Intercontinental Championship feel like it used to feel back in the day. One complaint about the video package. I did not see so many important champions we saw over the years. Where's Ezekiel Jackson? Where the hell was Ezekiel Jackson? Also in this show we saw more returns. It's been reported that the returns are not stopping anytime soon. And this time Triple H brought back Hit Row. Now, I'ma be honest, I don't get it. It's really not my cup of tea. I don't like the gimmick. I kind of find it cringy at times. But at the same time, it's not necessarily for me. I'm not the demographic. Maybe some people really enjoyed it. And let's be honest, WWE desperately need to improve the tag team division. So I completely understand what's going on. Triple H is trying to fix what Vince McMahon broke. Unfortunately, some of it is too late, and Triple H is working with what he has now. But yes, ladies and gentlemen, we got another great episode of SmackDown. It feels so good to say this. It feels so good to talk about wrestling again. I was getting tired of hitting that record button and just talking shit all the time because I barely had anything positive to say. The show kicked off with the Women's Tag Team Championship Tournament. Raquel Rodriguez and Aaliyah versus Shotzi and Xia Li. And I believe Shotzi got her theme song back, so hopefully more to come. So even though the match wasn't anything special, I love tournaments. They should do this more often in my opinion. The finish was also pretty good. Aaliyah with a spear, Raquel Rodriguez with a powerbomb, and they advanced. You know what's shocking? Aaliyah finally won. Aaliyah won a match in the WWE. Crazy. She was so happy she kissed Raquel Rodriguez like 50 times. Most shocking moment in the WWE history. And this is how the tournament looks right now. I mean, yes, it's not perfect. Most of these teams aren't even real. Still pretty mad that Tamina got eliminated. Let's be fair, Triple H is working with what he has. He can't magically create a bunch of tag teams. Well, he actually kinda did right here, so fair play. Karrion Kross and Scarlett got a decent promo. He says last week was the rebirth of a darkened soul, and it must be nice for Roman Reigns and Drew McIntyre to be the chosen ones. He says they waited for the perfect time to strike, and in the end, everyone pays the toll. He ends the promo by saying TikTok as we see him spy on Drew McIntyre. Feels like a whole different person. TikTok means he's about to try to end someone's career. Back in the day, TikTok meant, TikTok, we're about to Get your strap-ons, ladies and gentlemen. TikTok, we're about to And the helmet? The helmet stays on. So we see Drew McIntyre in the ring. He says it's an exciting time in WWE and a time for new faces. McIntyre addresses Kross following his attack last week and says that he took a major opportunity. He says the only problem is that the number one contender happened to be him, and says he has three choices: knockout, hospital, graveyard. I pick knockout. He said hospital. Vince McMahon brainwashed us so much. Hearing hospital on WWE television feels like hearing a slur. Drew, Are you in trouble? McIntyre says, obviously Roman Reigns is not here tonight. And he also said he's going to beat Roman Reigns at Clash at the Castle. We see Scarlett. So she slowly gets into the ring and Usos attack Drew McIntyre from behind. We see a face-off between Scarlett and the Usos. The Usos sent a message to Karrion Kross. And Scarlett says, well, I was about to say the same thing. The question I have, does Roman have helmets? Strap on! I still can't believe Vince McMahon ruined this guy like this, man. I'm so happy to see him back, you know, especially for someone who, he was ruined. Day 1 on Raw, loses against Jeff Hardy for no reason as the NXT champion. No excuses, really. You know, then I was like, okay, maybe WWE are trying to do something interesting. He loses against Jeff Hardy, but then absolute chaos. He got fired. He already feels kinda like a main eventer, but I definitely need to see more. The Viking Raiders made their entrance and got attacked by Kofi Kingston with a kendo stick. Unsuccessfully though, we saw a big splash. Gotta say, the Viking Raiders, for the first time, for me personally, on the main roster, feel entertaining. Before it felt like they're just wrestlers cosplaying as Vikings. Can you blame me? They were eating chicken on television. It felt like they were making fun of their gimmick. Now, I believe it. They're crazy ass mother. They're crazy. They're actual Vikings. They barely shower. Sami Zayn wants to meet Roman again. I guess he didn't hear Drew McIntyre's promo. Sami Zayn just wanted to say that about last week, you were right. The Usos got attacked by Drew McIntyre, who sends a message, a warning. And Sami Zayn just run away. No. You don't understand. He's the boss. He's the leader of the bloodline. He was trying to fix things. Later on the show, he revealed, I was trying to find security. The Usos are not buying it. That's not how you treat your leader. I'm embarrassed. I'm ashamed. I'm disappointed. Tag team division keeps on getting better. Hit Row makes their return, and we saw the match. And I gotta say, what I like about this tag team is the moveset, probably. It was pretty entertaining. They obviously won the match. I just never understood the introductions. Always kind of felt cringy to me. At the end of the day, I'm happy they're back. I'm happy they got their jobs back, because at the end of the day, it wasn't even their fault they got fired, right? So it will probably take some more time for me to understand this gimmick, because I didn't watch NXT at the time, so this feels kind of bizarre to me. Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. Ronda Rousey's return is a perfect example of how good Triple H is and that he just gets it. Ronda makes her return with no entrance music through the crowd with a big ass bag. Already completely different vibe. I told you before, I want to see Ronda acting like Brock Lesnar. She shouldn't care. She's rich. You know? She's, in her own mind, above the WWE. She says, they fined me, so I brought more. It wasn't the last time I'm gonna be fined. I can afford it. Boom. The best promo of her career. The delivery was mid. Yes, kinda felt forced. But what she actually said was really good, and it got the point across. Being the baddest is expensive. We see security, and she's like, I was about to leave anyway. We don't need this. So she attacks the security, didn't finish the submission, she left. Completely different vibe, exactly how Ronda Rousey should have looked from the beginning. It's not even like she's a heel. She's just being Ronda. I didn't like this though, so Shayna Baszler says, that's not how you do things. You gotta play by the rules. You used to be a killer. I'm not necessarily sure what was the thought process here. Why would you make Shayna say this? She was acting like a pussy, honestly, so I don't understand what it did for her character. What do you mean? You gotta play by the rules. Shayna is the one saying it. I see Aaliyah saying this, not Shayna. So Shayna calls out Liv Morgan, and Liv was kinda acting like a heel. You won't beat me. You are a bootleg Ronda Rousey. And I know that because I beat the real deal twice. That was the best Liv Morgan promo as well. This reminds me of AEW, and what I mean by that, just firing shots. You know? making the promos feel real, not being like, in 2 weeks at Clash of the Castle, I'm going to win because I'm an underdog, but I have a heart. I'm an underdog, I'm weak, but the heart, be big. No, she was being cocky. You know, she was being a bit of a douchebag. So we did see a brawl and she puts Shayna Baszler through the table full of money. I actually like the storyline right now. And honestly, I don't necessarily even want to see Shayna versus Liv. I want to see Ronda in this as well. We saw the Usos versus Drew McIntyre. It was supposed to be a tag team match. The Usos told Drew McIntyre to find a partner, but it started with a handicap match. Now, in the middle of the match, we see Madcap Moss, who decided to help Drew McIntyre, so it turned into a tag team match. Now, the highlight was Sami Zayn being a bit of a sucker. He was here to prove his loyalty to the bloodline. Didn't work. Drew McIntyre and Madcap Moss still won the match with a great Claymore cell by one of the Usos. After the match, we got a brawl. Sami Zayn saved one of the Usos, but Drew still came on top. Sami Zayn, as a leader, I believe is doing way too much for the Usos. I don't know, man. We see maximum male models, and it seems like Garza and Humberto want to join. But Dupree says, you're not really qualified to be maximum male models. We're not talking to you. We're talking to her. She likes what she's seeing. It's interesting to see that Triple H is not abandoning this storyline, this gimmick. It's still happening, but I do believe it's probably gonna be a little bit different. We're gonna see a different approach. I don't think Triple H would have us watch, you know, these modeling shows every week like we saw for the past 2 weeks. I don't think that's gonna be the case. So I think something is about to change, and I hope they're not gonna abandon this whole thing, because we're seeing a lot of promising talent who eventually can just leave the group and be successful on their own. But now let's keep this. It's pretty entertaining. Ricochet talked about Happy Corbin and got attacked by Corbin, so it seems like this rivalry is going to continue. Not necessarily something I'm excited about, but I mean, Ricochet is getting something major. I dig it. And then it was time for the Intercontinental Championship match. Shinsuke Nakamura versus the Intercontinental Champion Gunther. McAfee was not dancing for whatever reason. Maybe Triple H wanted to make this championship match feel a bit more serious. Of course, we got the introductions. This felt like a big deal, and what a match. Honestly, what a match. Exactly what you would expect from Gunther versus Shinsuke Nakamura. Sometimes you think about a match like Shinsuke versus Gunther or Gunther versus Drew McIntyre, and this one turned out to be exactly how you imagine that kind of match. Like, you tell me Drew versus Gunther, I imagine a bunch of body slaps and hard-hitting moves, and that was exactly what we got. This was a very hard-hitting match between Shinsuke Nakamura and Gunther, two very unique wrestlers, so what a match. Kinda gave me NXT UK vibes. Like, I remember once in a while we would get these amazing NXT UK matches. The difference here being is that this one was actually on SmackDown for a lot more people to see. The focus was on pro wrestling right here, and after a pretty great hard-hitting match, we see the powerbomb and Gunther takes the W. The other highlights that Shinsuke Nakamura walked out like a warrior. He was looking at Gunther, basically sending him a message: this is not over yet, we will meet again. And that was your SmackDown. Very happy with this episode. Like I've said, it feels so great to actually watch a WWE show and feel like it's going somewhere. I talked about SmackDown, and we always joked around how this is just a filler show. You're watching it and nothing changes. Absolutely nothing changes. The only worth watching episodes were after a pay-per-view, and this is different. So I know when people are talking about change, maybe they expect a different arena, different championship designs and all of that stuff, but that's not the most important part. Triple H is fixing characters, changing up storylines. All of the other fancy stuff will probably come later. It's not even as important. I'm just happy I'm watching a wrestling show and I got something out of it. So thank you for watching this video, The Great One. Peace, love, and hugs. It's been a pleasure.